pre-K friends. Today for craft time, we're going to be making counting carrots. And here's what you need. You're going to need a glue stick, a drawing utensil, a pair of scissors, and 3 pieces of paper. You need green, orange, and brown. The first step is going to be to draw our carrots. We need to have 5 carrots for our activity. What shape does a carrot sort of look like? It's flat on the top and it angles down like this. It has 3 sides, one on the top and one on each side. 1, 2, 3. You're right, it sort of looks like a triangle. So we're going to draw 5 triangles on our orange paper. They can be any size you want. You can have tall, skinny carrots. You can have little itty-bitty carrots. The only thing I do want you to do is make sure they're big enough to draw numbers on them. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw 5 triangles or carrots. So there's one. There's 1 carrot. I'm going to do 4 more. And they might be different sizes. Okay, I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. So I have all 5 of my carrots drawn on my paper. The next step is going to be to cut out the carrots. Now parents, you might want to allow your children to try to draw the triangles. They don't have to be perfect. Or you can pre-draw the carrots for your child to cut out. Now remember, thicker lines are easier for children to follow, so you might want to use a marker, a white tip marker, to draw the triangles on the paper. I have 2 cut out so far. Now I have 3. That means I have 2 more. One more carrot to cut out. Okay, so when you're all done cutting your carrots out, how many should you have? Do you remember? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the next step is to write the numbers on the carrots. So again, parents, you can pre-draw the numbers with a pencil and have your child trace over them, or you can show your child the number and see if they can draw it on their own. So I have 1, and then I'm going to draw the number 2, and then I'm going to draw the number 3, and then the number 4, and then the number 5. Okay, now the next step is going to be for the parents or the children to mix the carrots up. We're going to play a little tricky game here. Mix them all up so they're out of order. We're going to take our brown piece of paper and lay it down. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue them in order from 1 to 5. So, we always start counting with the number 1. So I have to find my number 1. Thumbs up if that's my number 1. Sure is. So I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to put some glue on the back of my number 1 carrot. And I'm going to glue that on. What comes after number 1, friends, when we're counting? 1. You got it. The number 2. Thumbs up if I chose the right one. Yeah, I got it. Number 2. I'm going to put some glue on the back of my number 2. And that goes right next to my number 1 because I'm putting them in sequential order. That means I'm putting them in the order that I would count. Okay. What comes after number 2? Yep, number 3. And then what comes after 3? You guys are so smart. Number 4. Of course it's number 4. And finally, what is my last number, my last carrot to go on my paper? Should we count and see? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. You got it. 5. Okay. Now I've planted my carrots in my garden. I think this kind of looks like the brown mud or dirt you would plant your carrots in. And they're starting to grow. Now, what pops up from the top of the carrots? What sticks up out of the dirt? Does anybody know? Has anyone grown carrots in their garden? You're right, the green stems are the first thing that you see when a carrot starts to grow. So we have to make green stems for our carrots. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut lots of snips in my paper, all the way down the side of my paper. Now parents, your children can either snip their paper or you can draw lines for them to cut along. That's up to you. Alright, so I've got that, all my snips through there. See how it's all cut? Now I'm just going to cut down through so that I have lots of little pieces of to put on the top of my carrots. So it's up to you how you want to do this with your child. If you want them to snip and then you want them to cut along, I would put maybe a line on there so they know that's a long cut on their paper. Okay, so now I have lots of little stems to glue on top of my carrots. So I think what I'm going to do is just put some glue above my carrot on the paper and then I'm going to stick the green pieces onto it. So let's see. And if you want to continue this learning process, you could just have them put one stem on top of the one. You could do 2, 3, and so forth. But if you just want to have fun with it, they can put as many stems on their carrots as they want. They don't all have to be the same. Put a little more glue on there. Okay, now I'm going to move on to number 2. This one's just going to have a couple stems on it. Okay. And then I'm going to put my stems on number 3. A little more glue there, so I will put another one on. The stems on number 4. Get them apart. And then I'm going to put my stems on my last carrot, the number 5. Okay, I have a few pieces left over. I'll save them for another craft. I'm going to put my lid back on my glue because I want to be responsible and make sure that it does not dry out. And my lid is on my marker. Alright, so there we have our counting carrots. Have fun with this.